Thank you for tuning into this episode of My Intuition Speaks Patois. And you done know such a love talk. How's everybody doing? I hope you're doing well. Okay. Today's going to be a different kind of episode for me. We're not going to be just getting into one specific topic and me giving you advice on that topic and all of that shit dig, okay? Today we are getting into how I manifested my trip to Atlanta. Okay, my first trip to Atlanta. I've never been, so it was very, very exciting. I was initially planning a trip for myself next year, but obviously the universe had other plans, okay? People be like, I got family in Atlanta, I got cousins. Not your girl. All right, so I had to go and get there on my own. But like I said, the universe had other plans because I was supposed to be going next year, but Spirit was like, baby, you got things to do. Chop, 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 chop on the desires. Okay. So, how this all started, it definitely started with me quitting my last job. Now, that's a job I should have been let go of. Granted, I was not there for very long. But child, I was pushing myself way too far, and quitting that job was definitely an intuitive decision because I didn't have a job set up after that. And I want to try to do my best to have a job set up after, but it's like, especially when Spirit is telling me to go, I just be clearing it. You know what I'm saying? Gemini sun over here. I don't be sitting around. So of course I had lots of time to myself. I was doing so much, y'all. I was spending a lot of time in solitude. I was also seeing my friends as well. You know what I'm saying? I was just catching up on all the things that I wasn't able to do while having that initial job. And one of those days I was scrolling on Instagram and I seen that one of my favorite YouTubers, her name is Trinity. If you don't know Trinity, grow up. But I seen that she posted on her story about an event that she was having in Atlanta. Bro. And in my head, I was like, bro, I have to go to this. And what really happened is that maybe a couple weeks prior, I think, she had an initial event. She had one of her first events. And I have a friend who actually lives in Atlanta. And I was like, girl, you just have to go to this. Like, please go, please go, please go, please go. So my friend ended up going. And when she left the event, she ended up telling me how she had just such a great time. She was telling me how nice Trinity is. What else? She was definitely, oh my God, yes. And she told me how she ended up meeting a friend that she hadn't seen since, I think, middle school. And I was just like, wow, like, I'm so glad you went. Like, I was just so happy for her. I was just so happy for her, like, to know that she had a great time, because she really did. Like, she had a big smile on her face. I was very, very happy. And in my head, I was like, shit, if you met Trinity, I met Trinity. I don't give a fuck. I swear, y'all, because I love Trinity. Like, I've been binging her. Like, the day I found her, I wish I could tell y'all, but I found her sometime this year. But when I found her, I binged her page. It's a problem. But Trinity, she's just cool as fuck. Like, she's so cool. She's so nice, and she's very much so genuine. Like, very genuine. And she's a Gemini, like your girl. So I was like, she is cool as fuck. Like, we're a week in difference. I was like, I vibe. I vibe with Shorty for sure. But after all of that, I was just so happy for my friend. I was just like, I'm just so glad that you had a great time, And after that, I was like, damn, bro, next time she has an event, I just have to go. And I promise y'all, like, not even that long after she posted about that event, boom, this event comes up. And I'm looking at my screen. Y'all, I caught her story. Not even, the post wasn't even up for an hour. Like, the flyer for this event was not even up for an hour yet. And I immediately DM'd her. I was like, yes, ma'am. Hey, asked for 2 tickets because I was like, I immediately called my friend who I told to go to the first event, who stays in Atlanta. I was like, Shorty, clear your schedule, because Trinity is having an event on 11/11 and I'm coming. No questions about it, okay? So, boom. So, at this point, I really had to dive deep, y'all. I had to dive deep because it was just like things were just aligning for me. I had just quit my job, so it's like I had nothing but time. I had the money. I had the resources. I had somewhere to sleep when I got up there. It was like, why not? Like, why not fucking go? Like, why not make this my first trip to Atlanta? Like, come on, bro. Come on. Are you joking right now? Because honestly, like, when I found Trinity, granted, I started my spiritual journey back in 2020, like the end of 2020. I found Trinity at a time where I was still understanding things for myself, and her page just brought me a lot of clarity. It brought me a lot of comfort knowing that there was other people out there that was as confused about life as I am. And truly, during that time, there was nothing else I could look at other than the alignment. I was like, bro, this is the perfect time for this to happen. This is the perfect time for me to go. Like, I have to go. And I kept telling my homegirl that. I was like, bro, I have to go. Like, I just have to. And it's so easy for people who don't understand, people who don't have faith. You know what I mean? People who don't have faith to look at my situation and be like, girl, the first thing you want to do is throw your money away, go to Atlanta. Like, yes, sweetie. Yes, it is, because I have the time. Okay. I have everything, like everything is aligned for me perfectly. Yes, I'm going. A few doubts around me from outside sources. I definitely had to rely on my inner knowing, rely on my intuition, and just release the idea that I would not be provided for, because how could I not? Like, how? You know what I'm saying? Especially when you know that, come on, bro, like, you know, at the end of the day, spirit got you. Like, shit be turning all the way upside down, but spirit quick to flip it. So with that, I just started preparing, and this is where I started going heavy, y'all. I started preparing, mentally preparing, financially preparing, physically preparing. I was scripting for this trip. I was looking for jobs. I was watching my spending, you know what I'm saying, and making sure that I had transportation once I got there, and making sure that I had food once I got there. And of course, I already had a place to lay my head. Shout out to my homegirl Talea. She really looked out. And her parents are cool as fuck. I know she probably rolled her eyes at that. So let's get into the scripting part of it, y'all. So I did a page of affirmations. I scripted for my travels there, and then I scripted for my travels back for safety purposes, assurance purposes, and confirmation purposes. There was a few things that I wanted to show up so that way I could know. I'd be like, boom, that's that white bird I asked to see. That's how I know that shit is lining up, you know, type shit. So for the affirmations I wrote, I am rich in self-love and completely provided for. I possess too much knowledge to doubt. The spiritual is just as important as the physical aspects of my life. My trip to Atlanta is happening due to my hard work and manifestations, period. All of my goals are attainable, period. I deserve all that is on its way towards me. I do not hold space for guilt. And these affirmations really did help me get through, because like, I do not hold space for guilt. That was really helping your girl out, because even though things were lining up for me and, you know, all of that good stuff, you still deal with that human side of yourself that's like, baby, you got to pay rent. And I know I had to pay rent, and I know that I had the money to pay rent, but then my brain was like, well, what about next month's rent? And it's like, sweetie, hello. I'm finna have a job when I get back. I ain't even trying to worry about that. And I definitely, will get into how I manifested making sure that I had a job when I got back home. I believe that's actually in my next script. So let's get into it. So the first script goes on to say, Before leaving to Atlanta, I will secure a job at either blank or blank. And sweetie, you better believe I secured the job at blank. Okay? Because, honey, I was in there. I made sure I got the interview. I got the job like right before I had to leave, like the day before I had to leave to Atlanta. And I came back on a Saturday and I started work that Monday. Period. But let's get back into it. I am so grateful and overjoyed to know that I have a job when I come back home. Oh, let me say this really quickly. I wrote this on the 9th and I was traveling on the 11th. Okay. So yeah, I'm so grateful and overjoyed to know that I have a job when I come back home. This job will be such a comforting place to work, knowing that I'll have people there to help me. Thank you to my guides for always looking out for me. This job will help me be able to save for my new home and be able to care for both me and my partner before I move. I'll be able to take care of myself times 10 in a way that I desire, and I'm so grateful for the abundance. Things are falling in line for me with positive hopes and guides that protect me. I will make it to Atlanta safely and on time. I will enjoy myself and stay in the moment. I will connect with my friend in a new way, and I will meet Trinity on November 11th, 2021. And so it is. Period. So that's my first script that I wrote. Now let's get into the travels. All right. So what really ended up happening that day? That morning I woke up, I think maybe 6 something in the morning, probably. The night before, my roommate, she let me know that she wouldn't be able to drop me off at the airport anymore. And so I had to pay for a shuttle, which I'm like, okay, fine, I have to pay for a shuttle, whatever. So then that morning I wake up and it's like 10 minutes until my shuttle is supposed to pull up. And I'm a punctual I'm really punctual, y'all. Cap rising. I'm a punctual person. So even though I had 10 minutes until the shuttle came, I was like, let me call these people. So I call them and they tell me that the shuttle's not coming to pick me up at my house. I'm supposed to go to where the shuttle is at. I said, oh, hell nah. So I have to wake my roommate up and ask her to drive me to this place to go on this damn shuttle. So I'm talking to the lady on the phone, and like I said, the shuttle's supposed to get me in 10 minutes of this time. So at this point, I got 5 minutes to make it to the shuttle place, and it's 6 minutes away. I said, ma'am, please ask him to wait. And she was like, all right, but if you don't get here in 5 minutes, I was like, ma'am, I am 5 minutes away. 5 minutes is all I need. Y'all, I got to the place. I didn't even see the shuttle. I didn't. And it's not like I even seen it turn out on the street. Like, they was gone. They left me. They left my ass. And I was crying. And it wasn't like no boo-hoo, like, woe is me. It was really just frustration because, like I said, I'm punctual. I'm a punctual person, and I just hate being behind. I really do. And so it was just frustration because my thing is I could still be home. Like, I could sit down at home and wait for the next shuttle. So the next shuttle ends up coming like an hour, 30 minutes later. And granted, I will say I leave for hold on. Y'all know I'm Jamaican, right? So Jamaican people, for those who don't know, we leave for the airport at least 8 hours early. So I had plenty of time, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I was still like frustrated. So the shuttle comes, and I'm like, cool. Where is the shuttle driver? Shuttle driver comes out the bathroom. It's this Caucasian man who looked like he didn't even just wash his hands. Child. I'm over here just trying to stay as positive as I possibly can. I called my man to cry and he was like, get it together. And I was like, bet. So I got it together and got my ass in there. And once that shuttle man came, I was like, take my stuff, shuttle man. Actually, no, I kept my stuff. Kept my stuff on me. Got on the shuttle. The shuttle man is like, boom, we got one stop to make. I said, sir. A stop? Nobody didn't tell me about no stop. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I was like, bro, divine timing, divine timing, divine timing. In my head, I'm just like, I'm not about to stress. Everything is going to align how it's supposed to. That's literally where my head was at. Like, even though I was upset, I really was focused. I was like, bro, everything is going to happen exactly how it should. So I'm not about to stress this. I'm just not. So we get to this stop and it literally only took us 5 minutes. Like, it really did. It took us 5 minutes to get this lady, put her stuff away and get back into the shuttle and head to the airport. And while we're driving away from this area, to get out of the plaza that we picked the lady up in. Because it was a plaza, y'all. It wasn't even a complex. We didn't pick her up at her house. She was at some cafe. And in my head, I'm like, so y'all couldn't pick me up from the crib? Anyways, as we're driving out from this plaza, I see a mailbox. And the mailbox had the numbers 111 on it, 111. And that angel number, for those of you guys who don't know, basically means to stay positive. So I took that shit and I ran with it. I was like, bro, I'm going to hold on to that because I just knew. I knew that if the universe was asking me to stay positive, that shit was about to shake. Shit was about to shake for me. Okay? We make it to the airport. I got off that shuttle so fucking fast. I got off that shuttle immediately. Went straight inside, got my boarding pass, boom, ran to the line. I make it to the line and I get through security, all that cute shit. I finally make it to my gate. Sit down, call my man. He's laughing at me because he's like, look at you. You made it to the airport and you was just crying like 2 hours ago. And I was laughing with him because I was like, yes, because, I just be needing to cry sometimes. I be needing to let that shit out so that I can get back to it, But I get to the gate. It's about 10 minutes until it's time for me to board. Actually, that's a lie. It's time for me to board. It's time to board. And all of a sudden I start seeing people who are supposed to be going on my plane. They're like leaving. And it's too much of them for them to be headed to the motherfucking bathroom. Okay. So I'm like, where is everybody going? So, this black lady, she comes up to me and she's like, hey, did you get the email that they changed our, terminals? And I said, no. Now, why the lady told me that and then left? She didn't even tell me which terminal. So then I start asking other people. I find out that the gate is gate number 22. Huh. Okay. Gate number 22. I called my homegirl who, did I call her or did she call me? I don't know, but that's my sister. Like, that's my sis. That's my spiritual sis. Like, we're very much always in alignment. And so I'm not sure who might have called who, but all I know is it was the perfect timing because that's her, that's one of her angel numbers. It's her master number. And she's telling me some story. Yeah, she called me because she was going through something. She's telling me some story and I was like, sis, I don't know if this is for you. I don't know if this is for you, but my gate number is 22. And I don't know if you needed to hear that number right now, but listen, if you the reason I'm getting held back on this flight, listen, please take this message so I can get on this plane. So we get to gate 22, get on the plane. It ended up taking a longer time than it should have, but I ended up getting on the plane, not on time, by the way. And I'm next to this lady. another Caucasian, and she is talking to me, even though I had both AirPods in. And I'm looking at her like confused, like eyebrows touching. I'm like, huh? Like, why are you talking to me? But you know me, I'm over here trying to be nice. I'm like, yeah, yeah. And then she keeps showing me like all the empty seats on the plane. She tapping my shoulder. She's like, look, that seat's empty. Oh my God, we might be lucky. Because she's sitting next to me. I'm sitting on a window seat. Period. I didn't even tell y'all how I got my seat, but I'm sitting on the window seat and she's sitting in the middle. So she was like, oop, if the person who sits in the aisle doesn't come, that means we can separate. And I'm like, yay. Now, when it came to my seat on the plane, I had, I don't know where that script is, but I wrote out that I specifically wanted to be on the right-hand side of the plane in a window seat. And even though I had wrote that down, every time I would visualize myself sitting in that seat, I would see myself sitting by the wing of the plane. And when I got onto the plane, I was actually sitting on the left side of the plane on the window seat, but there was no wing outside. So boom. So I'm sitting, where I'm sitting, this lady bothering me, yada, yada, yada. Everybody gets settled. Seatbelts are on. Here comes the pilot. Hey, y'all, get off the plane. First of all, I'm looking like this is a prank. Like, this has to be a prank. Then the white lady next to me starts going off. She's like, Every time I fly this airline, it's always something. Spirit would never do this to me. I'm like, baby, you're not even riding. Like, shut up, y'all. She was getting me so tight, but I was staying quiet. I had my headphones in, listening to nothing, okay? Just because I just needed that extra closure. I was like, girl, shut up. Like, the way she was complaining, it was just too much. And after a while, I realized, like, I could really be like her. Like, I could really be as miserable as her ass right now. Like, being bothered about everything that's going on, about all of the things that are stopping us from getting there. But it's like, Atlanta is nothing but an hour away. Like, you acting like we going to Cali, which is from where I'm from, like 6-7 hours. You're doing too much for me, personally. So pilot tells us to get off the plane. This is not a joke, y'all. He basically telling us this whole scenario about why we need to get off the plane. But long story short, we need to get off the motherfucking plane. So everybody gets their stuff. We get off the plane and they let us know our new gate, which is all the way on the same side of the airport that we just came from. I'm trying to be calm. I'm trying to shut up. We go to the new gate. They make us print out brand new tickets at the gate. And then we get onto the plane. Get onto the plane again. And I get onto the plane way before this lady did. Initially, I walked onto the plane and she was already in her seat. But this time I walked into my row and she wasn't there yet. So I was like, ooh, let me get a breath real quick before this lady walk up. And y'all, I opened my window because I'm sitting on the left side again. I'm sitting on the left side of the plane in the window seat. I open my window and guess what I see? The fucking wing. I'm sitting on the wing. I was like, bro, this is surreal right now. Like, this is the stuff I'm talking about. It's like, that's why you can't be tight about the inconveniences, bro, because shit really is working out in your favor. I may have wrote down that I wanted the window seat, but in my head, like whenever I would visualize, visualization just for that manifestation, just for that intent, just so that I knew what I wanted to see. Like, boom, I opened the window and I seen the wing and I was like, wow, like everything really does happen for a reason. And so at that point, I was just filled with so much gratitude. I was like, I don't even want to hear nothing else. Guess who comes? Here come Miss Complain. She sits in her seat, she's mumbling to herself, and thank goodness somebody had called me. Somebody had called me, and so I was having a conversation with them until the plane took off and everything, or at least until they asked us to turn our phones on airplane mode and all of that. And she was just complaining the whole time. I was on the phone, and for some reason everybody started clapping. And you know how people clap when you land? Like, these people were clapping when the pilot walked onto the plane, which was weird. I don't know, because I was on the phone. Like I said, I was not paying attention. All I hear is clapping, bro, and this lady is going off. She's like, I am not clapping for this. I'm just like, bro, y'all, the amount of patience it took for me to just sit there, I swear. After this, I enjoy my damn flight. I took a picture of the sky for my story. And I at Trinity, because I was on the way. I really was on the way, and I put on the way on that bit, and she reposted it, and that was pretty cool. Good to know that she saw, what I'm saying, that I was coming, and she was like, "Are you taking a plane for this event?" And I'm like, "And is like, are you kidding, bro? Like, if there is any way I can show my support, bro, like." And this is for me too. Like, I love her, but this is for me. Like, bro, I wanted to meet her so bad. Like, I remember earlier this year, I was just like, bro, I've got to meet this girl. Like, she's just way too cool, way too chill. We end up making it. We end up touching down in Atlanta. I think maybe like a couple minutes to 3 or something. And we were supposed to be there about an hour prior, or maybe an hour and a half prior. It was probably more, but I was just too filled with gratitude to pay attention. So once I touched down, I was just like, yes. I was like, bro, I'm fucking here. Like, oh my God, y'all, I was just so turned up on the inside. Like, I didn't care about everything else that I had to go through after I got out that damn airport. Because first of all, I didn't even know that Atlanta had the busiest airport. Thanks for letting me know. Like, I did not know that. And so when I got off my plane, it took me like how long to get to these trains that take you to the very front of the airport. And child, I took like 3 trains. Like, that airport is big. If you've never been to Atlanta's airport, listen, it's an experience, to say the least. So after I walked all them miles to get through this airport, I made it onto what I didn't know at the time was the very last escalator. And I checked the time, and it was 3:33 at that moment when I checked the time. And for those of you who don't know, 3:33 is one of those numbers that basically just means that your guides are with you. You're in the presence of the ascended masters, whoever that may be for you. And for me, that was just everything. Like, that was just everything I needed. And like I said, I was going to get there at the right time. I was going to get there when I should have, and I did. And I'm so grateful that things worked out the way that they did for me. So my friend comes to pick me up and everything. We're reconnecting because I haven't seen her in a little bit. Not a crazy amount of time, but it's been a little while since I've seen her. And, it was just so good. The energy was just so good. I was just so happy to be there. And y'all, like, if there was nothing else I was excited to see, it was them trees. Oh my gosh. Bro, Georgia in the fall was just everything I needed to see. It was all the confirmation I needed for the fact that I need to move my ass to Atlanta at some point, because it was just so beautiful. Oh my God, I can't even get into it. Like, the gratitude that I felt was just so crazy. So crazy. And on the drive to my friend's house, I had seen so many angel numbers, like so many, like to the point where I had to start pointing them out to my homegirl. I was like, bro, do you not see this? Like, everywhere I look, 777, 333, 222, 111, like 444, 888. It was just everywhere, everywhere. And I was so happy. I was so happy, y'all, for real. Push come to shove, later that night, we end up heading to the event. As soon as we actually made it there, like, on time, like 7, it started at 7:30, and we made it there at 7:30. We was walking through the door, and Trinity's mom opened the door for us. Such a sweet lady, by the way. And the venue was just, the venue was everything. Like, cute is not the word. Like, that shit was lit, y'all, for real. And they were still setting up, so my ass, my helping ass, I was like, y'all need help? Cause I mean, I ain't doing nothing. I'm not gonna sit here and watch y'all just get things ready. Like, do y'all need help? And so her mom starts telling me, I haven't seen Trinity at this point, by the way. Her mom starts telling me, she was like, you know what? Yeah, why don't you go ask Trinity what she wants you to do? And I'm like, oh, okay. And me, like, I'm the type of person that I try not to be too starstruck by people, especially like YouTubers, because of course celebrities are real people too, but nigga, YouTubers are real people, So I was like, let me not be too extra. And I wasn't. Like, when I initially met her, all of my like nerves and I don't want to say fears, but all of my nervousness went away. I was like, wow, there she is, and she's cool as fuck. She's literally the same person that she is on the other side of the screen, like crazy. And if you watch her, Trinity's always talking about how short she is, and about how when people meet her that they don't expect for her to be that short. And I'm tall as fuck, so everybody's short to me. And I know a lot of short people. I'm actually friends with people that are super, super short. So in my head, I was always like, she's probably not that short. And when I met her, I was like, all right, she's short. She's the short she been talking about. But it wasn't like deadly. It wasn't like crazy short at all. But other than this, she was cool as fuck. She asked me to start, laying some things out and stuff like that. And I was like, okay, bet. I went onto the other side of the building, and I see another YouTuber who, I'm not going to say who, just because I didn't ask her if it was okay to disclose her location. But I seen her, and I was like, hi, my name's Shay. And she was like, hi, my name's Blank. And I was like, bitch, I know who you are. And they are cool. They're just so cool. Like, they're just so cool. It's so nice to know that, people aren't fucking phony. But all that to say, the event ended up going like so nicely. And there was this moment actually that I went to go grab some paint from another area. And I had the thickest deja vu, y'all. Like, for like 8 seconds. Like, it was so long. And I started looking around. I don't know if y'all do that when you have deja vu, but I started looking around to see if everything was in the place that it was supposed to be in. And it was, and I was just so shook. And the two girls, there was 2 girls in front of me. I didn't get the other young lady's name, but there was a young lady who was named Naya. Her name was Naya. And I'm so sad because I did not get her IG. I did not get her contact information. Oh, I'm so mad. But her name was Naya. And she looked at me and she was like, you good? And I was like, I just had the craziest deja vu. Like, the craziest deja vu just now. And she was like, well, nice to meet you again. I'm Naya. And I was like, girl, don't be doing that to me. Like, to be in an area with so many like-minded people, and then to have deja vu, like the alignment was going dumb. The alignment was going so crazy, bro. And like I said, the event ended up being super amazing. Like, everybody was so kind and just like-minded. Like, it was such a vibe. It was such a great energy, and it's like, bro, this is exactly what I want to move to Atlanta for. And then at the end of it all, we all huddled up, got together, and some of us spoke about our paintings. And Naya, the girl who I had deja vu with, is that the right way to say that? But the girl who I had deja vu in front of, she was talking about her painting, and she had the most beautiful painting. Well, not out of everybody, but she had such a beautiful painting. It was like lots of pink, and it was like clouds, and it was just a very ethereal looking painting. And I remember her saying that just the being in this atmosphere, it was the reason she moved to Atlanta. And I was like, bro, this is too much confirmation for your girl. Like, I was just getting really excited. And there was a point where um this was not a little bit. This was before we all gathered together. But there was a point where, well, in the beginning of the event, Trinity had mentioned that there was going to be a raffle for like this basket of things that we could have chosen from. And a little bit before the event was about to end, I realized that we did not do the raffle. So I went to her and I was like, hey, can I get a raffle ticket? And she was like, oh shit, I almost forgot about the damn raffle. And so she ended up having like the perfect amount of people to the amount of items. And so she ended up just going in order of who purchased a raffle ticket. So I went first. I got to pick my item first, and I picked her shirts. I picked one of her shirts. It's the one that says, I don't want to butcher it because I don't have it in front of me exactly, but it basically says, "Here I cry you a river to drown in," and I just love that shirt. Oh, I love that shirt. I mean, I love her other shirts too, but I just love that design. I love the sun as well, and the picture of it is like a sunset. If you haven't seen it, check out my Instagram. Check out her Instagram, excuse me, at Brown Girl the Brand. But shortly after this, after I, picked that shirt out, and everybody ended up picking out what they wanted and everything, Trinity ended up telling me that she had more shirts, just in case that size didn't work for me. And she basically ended up helping me choose which shirt I should get. And because it's her brand, I'm like, the look. Like, the look that you're going for. So tell me what to wear. Tell me what to put on. And she gave me like a large. And normally I used to be a large when I had some pounds on me. But ever since I stopped eating meat, my weight dropped insanely, like insanely. So when she mentioned a large, I was like, okay. But of course I had trust in her. I was like, bro, this is your brand, you know what the shirts are supposed to look like. And they're like a streetwear style, so the sleeves are supposed to come down to your elbows and all of that. So it was like, I just want to go according to how this shit is supposed to be, you know what I'm saying? So she ends up helping me out. The large was perfect. And I was just so overjoyed, y'all. I was so fucking happy. Now, as far as getting back home, I had a script for that as well. It says, when I was on my way home from Atlanta, the whole process was, the whole process at the airport was just as easy as Orlando. Now, let me stop there because the process at Orlando was not easy. It was simple, but there was people that was there that was not making it easy. Now when I got to Atlanta's airport, First of all, it took me forever to find security, and somebody finally helped me, because me personally, I don't like to go up to employees that don't look like they want to be at work, because then your ass is going to point me into another direction. And trust me, I've done it to people before. So I was like, not going to be my karma today. I'm not about to miss this plane. And I make it to security. And the lines are completely empty. Like, it's just lines. It's just line dividers and no people. I get up to the area so that I can have my ID checked and get my bags checked and all of that stuff. Or, get my bags checked on the inside. And there's this man there, and he's like, "Come here, sweetie." And he's got his hand up in the air, and he's signaling me to come towards him because he has somebody who's going to help me. And this other man comes right in front of me, like just jumps right in front of me. And what happened was, the guy who was telling me to come, his head was turned the other direction. So by the time he turned back around thinking that it was going to be me, it was this man. And y'all, he looks at this man and he said, Did I tell you to come?" He was like, "Go over there. Go over there before you get mad." Y'all, I was crying. Like, I was crying because these are the people that my angels and ancestors be sending. Like, this is no joke. Like, these are the people my angels and ancestors be sending, and I know it because it's so clear. Like, it's so easy to see. I be like, bro, you're here for a reason. There's a reason you got this shift tonight. There's a reason I came over here at the time that I did. Like, all of that. So the rest of that script goes on to say that basically the pilot made a corny joke, and that was one of those things that I wanted to have as confirmation, to know that I wasn't tripping, something that just gave me this just made me sure that I was gonna make it home safe, just something from spirit that showed me that that they were listening, that my guides were listening to me, and all of that. So, man, I ain't never gonna ask for that again, because it wasn't the pilot, it was the flight attendant. And his jokes were nonstop. Like, he just wouldn't stop, and nobody was laughing. Like, not even the other Caucasians. And normally they be laughing at the sentences that they be saying. They be like, "It's Tuesday." Like, this guy was going on about whatever, and nobody was laughing. And I was like, you would think he'd tap out, but my mans did not tap out. He was not here for it. So I made it home safe. I made it back safely. The trip, baby, was fantastic. I was really, really, really glad to be there. Like I said, I met other YouTubers while being there. I also met one of her close friends, AB. Like I said, if you don't know Trinity, grow up. Like, please go watch her channel. Her vibe is so authentic and so genuine. Like, she really is that bitch. But I do want to give y'all a few tips when it comes to scripting and stuff like that. So when you're scripting, it's really important for you to focus on what you want to happen. For myself, I did pull out like a few signs that I wanted, which was, for example, sitting next to the wing on the plane, as well as that damn flight attendant saying those corny ass jokes. And I specifically said corny. So that's why I know that was specific for me. Like, but those are the things that I utilize when I'm scripting, is those small things, so that I can see, have that small confirmation that that things are in fact working in my favor, even though I do depend on my faith, which is a knowing and not a hope. I do like to have that confirmation. I'm still human. I do like to be told, yes, girl, things are going the way you wanted to. But with that, scripting is a really helpful way to bring your desires into reality. If you're not good at visualization, if you're not good at meditation, script. You know what I'm saying? And it's not like journaling. You've got a script in the future, script like it's happening today. If I'm scripting for myself in 30 years, I'll be like, Spirit, thank you for this beautiful home. Thank you for my garden that I have cucumbers, I have zucchinis, I have tomatoes, I have, like, get descriptive. Because like I said in the last episode, okay, like I said in my feminine energy episode, you cannot be asking Spirit for pizza. You need to tell Spirit the toppings, the type of crust, all of that. Get into it, because Spirit wants to know, okay? Spirit wants to know. Guides want to give you what you desire. So if you're asking for generic, they're going to give you generic. And this trip was anything but. So I'm really glad that I could share that with y'all. I really wanted to get into that. And in my next episode, I do want to get into how I manifested the job that I have now, how it really has turned out to be a fantastic job for me. It is still full-time, and I prefer part-time, but it is still full-time, and I really sat down and came to certain decisions of the things that I wanted, and I manifested a lot for that job as well. So I will be getting into how I manifested that job, how I manifested the atmosphere, the things that are at that job. Like, literally, y'all, I manifested a tea kettle. Please, we're going to get into it. But I really do thank y'all for listening to this episode. This trip was everything and more. And I will be going to Atlanta next year. Don't get things fucked up. I will be going to Atlanta next year. But I'm really glad that I was able to be there for this trip. November 11th, I made it to Atlanta. And I know my grandbabies are going to be turned up when they read this in my journal, because I'm very descriptive when I journal, just like how you're supposed to be descriptive when you're scripting. Like, really get into it, y'all. Don't doubt your desires. Don't doubt what you want for yourself. You deserve past the limit. You deserve past your idea of what you think you can have. Know yourself so you can know what you want and know what you need. For real. All right. I will see y'all next week, where we will be getting into the next episode, baby. Talking about the cap in capitalism. Really getting into it. Like I said, how I manifested my new job and how I've been maintaining my own life, physically, spiritually, emotionally, educationally, while working 40 hours a week. And it's really going to be a good one. I hope to get into it with y'all, especially us who don't have the side hustle, or even if we do have the side hustle, we don't have the income coming from it. It's very important to maintain ourselves during this time, regardless, you know what I'm saying, regardless of how many hours we work. We have to maintain self. We always have to come back to self. All right. So I will see y'all next week. Thank you so much for being here with me. Thank you so much for listening to this podcast. For you guys.